Hey, my name is James Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we've got some updated data from the HMRC. This is all about housing transactions. How many deals were done in August? Well, it's actually up, interestingly. And this is interesting to get this data because we can see where we are currently in the market. We already know that the first quarter was very, very busy. We had January, February, March, where over 500,000 transactions were done in that short period of time. And that was due to the fact that stamp duty was lower at that point, and we knew April 1st stamp duty was going to increase. So everybody bought their transactions forward. But after that, the data that we got told us that we were expecting 500,000 transactions for the rest of the year. Well, in this video, the data shows that it might be busier than you're expecting, but I also want to counter that with what expectations we've got going forward based off some new data that we've had this week. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 50,000 subscribers. If you have a look around this video, it's so close. I've said that for the last few days, but we really could get there this weekend with a big push. And by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, interest rate news, property investing tips, and much, much more. And let's get some views on this video. Your part simple. Smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that's really helped the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that takes a minute to do that. So, HMRC, everyone's favourite. Maybe not. So, HM Revenue and Customs. They've put some data out on transactions because they get paid on the stamp duty. So they know what's going on in the market at the moment. And as I said, the first quarter this year was very busy because everyone was pulling through those deals in order to get them done before the stamp duty increase. So in August this year, they have had some decent sales. We've actually had 93,630 transactions in August, which is good. Now, a lot of that can be based on the fact that rates have come down somewhat this year. It's we knew, obviously, the Bank of England was going to cut last year. Then they've cut a few times since then. And that's brought some more people back into the market that have sat on the sidelines, that maybe the stamp duty wasn't as important to them, but getting a low rate was. And so that has brought some excitement into the market. It brought some buyers into the market over the summer. And so in August, we are 2% up year on year. So compared to August of last year, we're 2% up, which is definitely moving in the right direction. But is this going to carry on? Is the market still moving? Well, no. It has started to slow down. And so this week, we've done some content talking about what is happening in the market. There's a few things that I want to discuss here that I think we've got to consider when we're looking at this data going forward. So one is interest rates have actually gone up recently. So we do content on lenders and rates and whatever happens with that in the market. And a lot of people had the belief that after the Bank of England cut this August, the lenders would just cut. The problem was they'd already priced that stuff in June and July. So they'd already done their cuts prior. So when the Bank of England cut, then no one really cut. And in fact, a lot of interest rates since August have gone up. Now, that's due to the fact that lenders, the lenders that you borrow from and I borrow from, HSBC, NatWest, Santander, Barclays, Nationwide, these lenders, they borrow from bigger banks and they borrow on something called the swap rate. And the swap rate is a prediction on where the Bank of England's going to go with rates. And unfortunately, what happened in August was the Bank of England cut rates. But in the meeting, it was dominated by the fact that they revised their inflation figures and said we're going to hit 4% inflation this year. And that spooks the markets. And that means that the Bank of England is less likely to be cutting rates this year And we were expecting 2 more cuts this year. Now, I think most of us would be happy if we just get 1 more rate cut this year. So it's been frustrating. And so that slows down new mortgages. And so mortgage applications are actually down at the moment. So I know in the comments, when I talk about house prices are going up, asking prices are going down, applications are going down, some people get a little confused. So this data here is sold deals that completed in August. Now, they didn't start in August. It's very unlikely that someone viewed a property on August the 1st and completed by August 31st or 30th or whatever it is. Very unlikely that that happened. And so these deals would have started in the early summer, May, June, these sorts of times. And so those deals started then and they completed. Now what we've got to look at is, because rates are going up, that's not as attractive. Because these uncertainty in the economy at the moment, that's not an attractive time to buy at the moment. Also, house prices have been continuing to go up. The August data showed that house prices went up. And so that's because there was more transactions. There were 2% more transactions. So that makes sense. That's why house prices went up 0.5% in August. But this data here, the new mortgage applications, that's down. And that's the new buyers coming into the market in August. So they've got approved for a mortgage, but there's less of them than there were in July. And so they're now going shopping for properties. They've got all their approvals done. They can go to the estate agents and say, I've got a mortgage in principle. I'd like to look at some properties. And they will look at those properties and they will buy and they will complete in December, January and February. Those have a lag. And so at that time, we might start to see some drops in house prices. We might even see some more increases in house prices in September. But you've got to understand that the September data is stuff that would have happened in July, August, September, right? So there's a lag in that data, and these applications here, and this is what we've got to keep an eye on. If we're trying to forecast and predict what's happening in the market, there's 2 numbers to really look at. Mortgage approvals, that's down. So there's less buyers in the market at the moment. And asking prices. When a new property is coming on, Rightmove will tell us every month, are asking prices up, down or sideways? And that's the number to keep an eye on, because that's the market sentiment and that's telling you what we're starting at. What's the starting price of these properties? Doesn't mean that asking price is going to get hit. In fact, if there's less buyers, it's less likely to get hit and they might have to cut. And now there are less buyers. When we see new asking price data coming up soon, you might see that going down. And that would indicate that out near the end of the year or early next year, you'll see a drop in house prices. Does that make sense? Let me know if it does in the comments. Before you go, if you haven't done, do grab the fundamentals of property investing. It's £20 this weekend. This will help you buy property below market value. That's what you want to do. Buy property where you already get some equity in there. Then we'll teach you how to add value to that property. Is that adding new bedrooms? Is that doing refurbishments? Well, we talk about what's best for you and what's best for that property as well. And then we talk about cash flowing the property. Should you do it as serviced accommodation? Should you do it as an HMO, student accommodation? We cover all of that for £20 one-time fee. It's a crazy price. It's in the description. It's in the first comment. Click on it and grab it now while you're here. Do also check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.